new mikveh. As you all probably know, a mikveh is the foundation of Jewish life. A Jewish community cannot exist without a mikveh. Code of Jewish law provides that if there's a synagogue and there's no money for a mikveh in a community, you've got to sell the synagogue and build the mikveh. So now, for the first time, Beechwood and the vicinity is going to have a beautiful, nice mikveh. This is a celebration, and this is a time to thank God. Thank God for bringing us to this point. And without further ado, we will start with what is customary always in such occasions of Torah and Tefillah and Tzedakah. We do a prayer, we say a Dvar Torah, a word of Torah, and we give charity. There are pushkas, charity boxes prepared, which will be distributed later. Mr. Mayor, come on, don't give us any hassle last moment. Mr. Mayor, Fred, please. The Honorable, no, I can't hear myself, Yossi. The Honorable Merle Gordon. Yeah. You're the ones who made it possible, Fred, please. Please. So we will start now with a prayer of Psalm 100 in Tehillim, read by none other than Rabbi Kazen, who with his wife was really responsible for initiating the Chabad effort here in Cleveland some 30 years ago. Do we have the pages here? Yes. Does everybody have, or you have it? All right, have the kids distribute it. We're going to say verse by verse and move on further. Rabbi Kazen. Is it loud? I can hear myself. It's loud. Yes, loud. Very loud. Gary, can you hear this? Can you hear the mic? Okay.
Dried up. Ze hayim also Hashem nogila v'nismechavei. I'm very happy to say the first Kapitel Kuf in Rebbe's Kapitel. Mizmer leseida hariu ladinoi kol haaretz. Ivdu es Adinoi b'simcha, beu lefonov b'ernona. Diyu ki Adinoi hu Elohim, hu asanu v'lei anachnu amei v'tzein marisei. Beu she'arav b'seida Chatzereisav b'zhila, heidoloi baruch shmei. Kitei vadinoi leilam chasdei, ladeir vadeir emunasei.
This mikveh is being built with the endorsement, support, and participation of the Rabbonim, the rabbis of the Orthodox synagogues in this area. Rabbi Garfinkel has been involved with this mikveh probably since its inception. This is the old mikveh, for those of you who may not know, which is coming down after the new mikveh is being built in the back. For the new Chabad building comes in this place, and so that we don't leave the community without a mikveh, the first stage has to be the new mikveh. And it's going to take, by the estimate of the builders, some 4 to 5 months. They say 4, I say 4 to 5. Let's hope they're right. Let's hope we have it before Rosh Hashanah. At which point this mikveh will be taken down and the building is going to be built. Rabbi Garfinkel has been involved with this mikveh through its inception and before, and has also been the one who worked hard and long hours on the plans to be able to fit it in and to be able to comply with all customs. And I'd like him to say a Dvar Torah.
Rabbi Kazin began with the posuk, I would like to begin with the posuk, we have to thank the Almighty for giving us the opportunity finally to elevate the community to a level that this new mikveh should do. I have one thought that the entire community here, looking at the building to my left, owes Chabad a debt of gratitude. We have been able to have a mikveh, use a mikveh, and as Rabbi Alevsky said, a community without a mikveh is not a community, at the grace of Chabad. I would very much like to express my thanks on behalf of the whole community for them, for having given us this situation, and also in the future, as we lay the cornerstone, and the cornerstone of every Jewish event, of course, is the Torah itself. As we lay this, and we hope yet that before it's even concluded, and in all the other projects, we'll be able to move them to Eretz Yisrael shortly with the coming of the Mashiach. But before that, we thank them that they are affording us the opportunity of going to have such a wonderful mikveh. May the Baruch Shem see to it that it goes up. You all know that Chazal tell us that when you get married, that's ksuba de leromi beitigro. There's no marriage that doesn't have a little bit of fight in it. So we sure hope that this mikveh will have the same bracha, that they should go b'derech tzleicha, and we should all be zeicher to see it concluded as soon as we possibly can. Thank you.
Oh, welcome. Welcome, Mr. Waxman. I'm glad you can make it. You're not talking. Of course you're not talking, huh? The Chabad house, as you know it, has been established in Cleveland almost 30 years ago. I would say it was 30 years ago that a young couple by the name of Bernie and Esther Rotman convened 4 or 5 people into their house, and Bernie said, you know, with children, what's happening today with all our kids, we don't have any security. We don't have any guarantee that they're going to stay within the Jewish fold. We need a little life insurance. I think Chabad could make good life insurance, because Bernie was traveling to Italy at least, and maybe some other places, and he had seen Chabad operations at work. From that meeting came the committee for Chabad House of Cleveland, that later was joined by our all well-known Mr. Irving Stone, Zichreinu Livracha, Mel Waxman, and others. I'd like to therefore recognize and thank publicly, appreciatively, Bernie, and to him his wife Esther, who is not here, I think, right? But you can tell her, right? And let them be proud of what they have laid foundations for. As you all see looking back, this place is barren now, it's empty. And it wasn't so until only a couple of weeks ago. This shows you that we're beginning, right? But there was one gentleman who called me up one day and he says, would you like me to take down the trees for you? And I said, well, I'll call you back. I made a quick call to find out what it'll cost us to take trees down and back over here. And I very, very quickly called him back and I say, yes, sir, we would very much appreciate it. His name is Rafael Waxman. He's nicknamed Robert. He stands right there. Please give him a hand. We thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, that's the one. That's the guy. You know, Mel Waxman wants to know whether this is Robert. This is the guy. His Jewish name is Rafael. With the participation of the rabbis in this mikveh, we really hope that the entire community will join and will help us put up the mikveh like Rabbi Garfinkel mentioned. I may as well tell you that we've got sufficient pledges to put up a mikveh, a new mikveh. But a new mikveh is not necessarily the nicest of mikvehs. Beechwood, according to all of our considerations, is capable of, and not only Beechwood, but University Heights, I mean these suburbs are capable and are duly obligated to put up a nice mikveh that when a woman walks in, she'll open her mouth and she'll always want to come back there and bring her friends in there. We ask for your participation. It is going to be a mutual endeavor of all the synagogues here, and we hope you all will come forward. And I'd like to ask Rabbi Granestein, who really preceded all of us in this project. The Green Road Synagogue that you see on my right was there about 10 years, even before Chabad bought this project, and we preceded all the others. So I'm pleased to ask Rabbi Granestein to address us here.
Thank you, Rabbi Alevsky. First of all, Piryo Namte Lekol Askanim, we have to give a special yashikoach to all the those who made the effort and are continuing to make the effort to build the mikveh. As the Rabbanim who preceded me have said, a mikveh is a foundational institution within any kind of Jewish community that attempts to perpetuate Torah values, and that's obvious, and therefore we all have to join Rabbi Alevsky and the Chabad community in making sure that a mikveh goes up, which is really l'shem l'tiferes, that is a beautiful and attractive institution. Just a thought about the mikveh. We talk about Hilchos Nida, the laws that, after all, surround the mikveh. The laws of, we call it, the common parlance, even though you don't find this really in the poskim and the authorities, we call it Taras HaMishpacha, family purity. And I was trying to think about this a little bit this weekend. Why Dafka Hilchos Nida? Why is that family purity? Do you mean to say that Shmira Shabbos doesn't contribute to family purity? Of course it does. What about kashrus? What about mitzvahs like Achnasas Orchim? Surely all these things are involved in creating the purity of a Jewish family. So why do we single out Hilchos Nida with this term? And it seems to me the point is this. When you talk about Hilchos Nida, we are talking about Dvarim Shebeino Vena. We are talking about the very foundation of the relationship that creates a family. And it's very striking. And just the Ramban says in his comments to the Aseret HaDibrot, he points out that on the first set of the Dibrot, the first luach of the Dibrot of the so-called Ten Commandments, I don't particularly like that term, but in any case, the first five, the fifth of these five Dibrot is Kabed es avicha v'yasimecha, honor your father and mother, but after all, everything else in that luach is devoted to mitzvos ben adam lamakom, to mitzvos which join man to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kibbud Av V'Aim would seem to be something which reflects our relationship with our fellow man. So the Ramban says the reason why it's there is because Hukash Kvodam Lichvodam Makom, he's quoting a Gemara in Sanhedrin, that the honor of parents is intricately related to the honor that one gives to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because ultimately, what are you dealing with in both instances? When we honor God, we are honoring our Creator. And when you honor your parents, you are honoring those who, in the most immediate sense, are the source of your origin. And therefore, the two essentially flow together. It's very striking that when you get on to the Dibra, two Dibrot later, of Lo Tinaf, you shall not commit adultery, the Ramban's comments on that particular Dibra are that because it's important that a human being grows up in a community where people know their origin, they know from where they come, which means it's all interconnected. That what's fundamental, and ultimately if you want to get back to a sense of relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the God who created all of us, one must know who one is. You have to know your identity. You have to know who your parents are. You have to have that sense of authenticity. And it all starts with the kind of relationship that exists between a husband and a wife, between your parents. And it's in that sense that in being able to celebrate the dedication of a mikveh, we are dedicating that institution. We understand now why it's foundational. The foundational institution that makes it possible for us to create the kind of family life that is in fact tahor, that is in fact pure, that is in fact interconnected with our point of origin in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Holy One, blessed be He. Again, I want to wish a very special Yasher Koach to all who are building the mikveh. And may they have nothing but Hatzlacha, first of all, in this work, but in all their work for the community. And may we grow to see a Jewish community growing ever deeper in its commitment to God and to the Torah and to Klal Yisrael. Thank you.
Rabbi Bernstein, please come up here. We almost made a break waiting for you. Come here. You know, a building to be built has to have good builders, people you can trust, people that you think you can work on. I want to recognize our building companions here, the Daryl Young and Company builders, Jonathan Shane, president. Where is he? Daryl is not here. Daryl's in Washington. Jonathan Shane is right there somewhere. There he is. Stand up, please. Give him a hand and make sure you watch him. You should. You know what I mean. You know what a builder can do to you throughout. Don Cunningham, project manager. I didn't meet him yet either. Don't worry about it. Who else is here, John? Of your people, John? Don Cunningham, I already said. You're so busy talking to somebody there, you don't hear what I'm saying. It's okay. There is Don. We really appreciate it. I want you to know that these builders did not bid on our project. I went to them to ask them to put in a bid. So they better deliver. Well, there's no Tony Cohen, huh? I would like to call now upon the neighbor of ours, the young Israel of Beechwood, Rabbi Bernstein, who is both a good friend and a good neighbor, and helped me a lot in advising me how to go about making it a real community effort. And he will please tell you some things about the importance of this mikveh and how hard he's going to work on it and make his people work on it and how nice he wants this mikveh to be.
Thank you for that very warm introduction. I wish it was true. As the newcomer on the block, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Rabbi Alevsky and Rabbi Chaikin and the Chabad House for the very warm reception that I've received for myself and for my family. I feel very much at home here at the Chabad House and in general in the community. So I want to express my hakar satov, my gratitude to you for your opening up your arms and your hearts to us. I unfortunately ran a little late, so I didn't have a chance to hear the thoughts that the Rabbanim had shared. So I'm really not going to give a kind of a Dvar Torah, but I just wanted to comment, and I'm very excited about this mikveh for two very important reasons. Number one, as you know, it's always great when you can do something that unifies a community. And there's probably nothing that is more important and more vital and more unifying than having a mikveh in your community. And it was very appreciative of the fact that when I first moved in, that Rabbi Alevsky and Rabbi Chaikin had called the Rabbanim of the community to meet and to talk and to see what we can do to make this the kind of an operation that will be something that everyone would be happy and excited to be part of. And they made sure that we would all feel very much a part of it. So I feel that, number one, there's an opportunity for unity here to bring us all together, and because we all recognize the importance and the central role that a mikveh plays in the community. Number two, it goes without saying that if we're able to build, and I'm sure we will, a very beautiful facility that will be attractive to all members of the community, it will only enhance the observance of Taras HaMishpacha, the observance of family purity, which is obviously so important and so central to our community. So having the opportunity to build a brand new, beautiful, modern facility, it's something that I cherish because I think it'll open up opportunities for so many more people to take advantage of it, to use it, and to become more enriched in their observance of Judaism. So therefore I express my gratitude to Rabbi Alevsky, Rabbi Chaikin, to the Chabad House for making this wonderful opportunity for us to share together and to make this beautiful facility, which will, in Yirtzeh Hashem, God willing, only enhance the observance, the level of observance, and will bring the community to that much higher of a level of its observance of mitzvahs. Thank you very much, and we look forward to sharing in many good occasions in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Bernstein. You know, Rabbi Bernstein is here because there's a fellow called Ivan Sokolov here. We all know him. And he gave us the biggest problems, I want you to know, in getting zoning for this place. We were very friendly with Harvey Friedman, the former mayor. He was going to pass us. Then Ivan comes and buys this house right here that you're looking at for $139,000. He's going to make a shul, he says here. There's enough people here to make a shul, a Balabatich shul he wants to make here. So I said, Ivan, you need 200 frontage. He says, so I'll try to buy more property. Are they for sale? And what if you don't? So I'll park my cars there, he says. So he goes to Harvey Friedman and tells him of his idea, and Harvey calls me up and he says, I want to see a campus here. So wait with your application. We waited for a couple of years. At one point I decided, no, we're going to go, and the what do you call it, the architect was one for all of us. So I said to him, you filed the application. He says, what are you doing? You're going to take apart Harvey's plan. I say, file the application. Today is the last day for the monthly meeting. I don't want to miss a month. If you don't file it, give it to me, I'll file it. He had no choice, and he says, okay, I'll file it. 5 minutes later, this was 4:30 in the afternoon. 5 minutes later, I get a call from Harvey Friedman. Can you come to my office, please? I come to his office. Yes, Mr. Mayor. There is a few people there. The building commissioner, of course, who was supposed to be here but is not. He's got a family affair on Sunday. And Harvey says, do me a favor. We want to make a campus. Wait. I'm telling you, wait. It's going to be worth your while to wait. It's going to be much easier. Like this, you're going to be... To make a long story short, we waited. And the rest is known to all of you. Tony, is that yours? I was looking for you. Lawyers are supposed to be on time. I say this because I think we owe Ivan a great debt of gratitude for several reasons. To start with, this whole campus idea, if you want, would not have been here without Ivan's involvement. Chabad would have built a building sooner or later, a nice building, but this now is turning this area into probably one of the greatest Orthodox Jewish outposts in the nation. I don't know how many other places in the nation, together with Green Road Synagogue, you're going to have a real Jewish pletzel, they used to call it, a real Jewish plaza. This was Ivan. Secondly, you all know the zoning controversy that we all went through. Ivan and his friends put out the work. We, Chabad, were riding on their oars. They built a ship, they sunk it into water, and we participated. We would have gotten again the zoning, I'm sure, without Ivan, but it would have been so much more difficult and probably end up in court or what have you. So I think we all here, the entire community should recognize Ivan. And last but not least, a personal debt of gratitude. I knew Ivan because I knew Alan, because Alan was involved with our federation support way 27 years ago. I always thought Alan is the older brother. So if I have to deal with one of the two businessmen, I'll deal with the other one. Why deal with the younger one? When Alan unfortunately passed away before his time, I first came to learn, and I came to see Ivan, I learned that Ivan is the older one. But him, his brother, and then him were supporting Chabad throughout the years, which we truly, truly appreciate. But nothing like an appreciation which grows trees every day. As you all know, we have a Chabad house in Solon, and we did not have the money to open it. Open it means we did not have the money for to rent an apartment so the young couple can settle there and start working. That's what I mean, not money. I came to Ivan, and I explained to him the situation, so he says, how much do you need? I say, I need rent. Here's the month, here's the whole thing. He says, well, what is the minimum you can live with? I said, 3 months? He looks at me and says, okay, I'll pay for your 3 months rent. And then the Chabad house, I think within a month, has been established. You've got Rabbi Greenberg sitting near Rabbi Dessler, sitting near Mr. President of Federation, Mr. whatever, Mr. Federation, okay? Rennie? Sorry. This is when the whole thing came into being. So I'm honored and pleased and grateful to ask Ivan to say a few words. He says, I'm not going to make long speeches, but a word of greeting, fine. Let it be greetings. The shorter the better. The mayor is after you. 1 o'clock is his time.
Rabbi Levsky, thank you very much. I really only wanted to stand up here and say Mazel Tov to the Chabad community and to the Jewish community of Cleveland and by osmosis throughout the country. The most important thing I really believe is that Chabad and the other participants here on what has become fondly thought of as the campus will be Jewish communities standing proud of their Jewish heritage and welcoming all Jews to participate with them in their activities. We hope that whatever issues had been raised in the past numbers of years will have vaporized, and we will remember the good works that these institutions will do as they move forward in their mission. Again, Mazel Tov to you, Rabbi Olevsky, Mazel Tov to my cousins, the Waxmans, for this wonderful activity, and look forward to wonderful things coming out of this this construction. Thank you.
You're good. You're good. Zoning, as you know, was a battle. So without further ado, let me ask for a word of greeting from the one and only attorney for Chabad House who carried us through zoning, Mr. Tony Cohen. You walk faster, it's starting to rain.
Thank you, Rabbi. But as you know, on any occasion, the less that a lawyer says, the better. So with that, I'll just say Mazel Tov, and thank you for letting me be part of your community for a time to work with the rabbi and, frankly, Mayor Gordon and his administration ended up being very professional to work with to accomplish this. So I'm very excited for you, and again, Mazel Tov.
Thanks, Mr. Cohen, and especially for knowing that lawyers shouldn't talk too much. You know, we do have different classes and discussion groups. I just want to tell you a short, interesting story. Take less than a minute, so don't worry about it. One of the people I had the privilege and the pleasure to learn with, and I say learn with rather than to teach, because I learned from him as much as he learned from me, all questions all the time, is our all well-known Peter Rezapka. At that time, he was president of Park Synagogue. I don't know what he's now. He's still president? Okay, at that time he was. One time he says to me, you know, I never had a bar mitzvah. We ran from the war. We never had a bar mitzvah. When I was 11, we started running. So I say, so why can't you make now a bar mitzvah? You're president of a synagogue, of a conservative temple, the biggest in town. What's the problem? He says, you think? I say, yes, I think. He says, I don't know what to say. I say, I'll help you. We'll learn together. He says, if you'll help me, he says, fine. Then I might consider it. But you got to help me. I say, I'll help you. Next time we meet, so he said, okay, help me. I say, I'm not going to make your speech. It's your bar mitzvah and it's your speech and you're going to make it. I'm going to learn with you the subject matter relating, and you, when you understand it, you go further. We started with his history of running away from wherever he ran, and his bar mitzvah was on Pesach. And on Pesach the people ran, exiled. He couldn't put on tefillin, which is talking about Yetzias Mitzrayim. And he lay there, he says, he told me his history, he came here, and God was good to my family, he says, and he was the president or the founder or the chairman of Exodus, which has to do with Pesach. And finally he ended with the purpose of why the Jewish people came out of Egypt, is to learn Torah, and he founded a school called Agnon, to teach those which are not affiliated. I would have liked him to make an Orthodox school, a Chabad school. He didn't ask me, and I didn't, so I accepted him for what he is. And he has been a supporter not only of mine, but my father-in-law, Rabbi Kazin, for quite a few years, him and his brother. I want to recognize them, I want to thank them, and I want to express to them all the best. But the real true reason why I picked on Peter Rezepka, although he deserves his own right, is because he sits near somebody who to me is way, way, way more, we are much more indebted to him, I should say. And this was the time when, in the beginning of the Chabad, as Irving Stone, as all you know, brought it to Cleveland, was hesitant. And we once had a meeting with Rabbi Cohen in his office and Irving Stone, and Irving was telling him of his hesitations. And Rabbi Cohen looked at him and says, Irving, Chabad is a good thing, you should do it, it's good for you, it's good for your family. I'll help you with the Kangeser Foundation. They were both members of the Kangeser Foundation, and Irving Stone walked out of that meeting, he says, okay, we'll go with it. Rabbi Armin Cohen and the Kangeser Foundation delivered matching funds against Irv's, what was it, $75,000, I think, grant for the first 3 years. Now it's not money, then it was a lot of money. And I cannot tell you how many times throughout the years we mentioned Rabbi Cohen's name with gratitude and thankfulness and a great feeling. He is the young Rabbi Cohen, but young only in spirit. He's going to be in Mitzvah Hashem 92 years old. I want to wish him and his wife many young and happy and healthy years and true Jewish nachas from all his children and grandchildren. And when we finish the building, not the mikveh first stage, you should be here and should be able to recognize you again. Zoning would not go without our mayor, without our city council, without our president of city council. Over there was, let's keep the whole business, everybody knows it. I just want to say something which does address the issue here. The building, the Chabad building, was zoned and the mikveh as one building, and we should have built it as one. The city went out of its way. I want to recognize Margaret Cannon, who said to the Mr. Mayor, I don't see why not, and just made it. He says, if she doesn't see why not, I don't see why not either. And they gave us permission to put up the mikveh first, get a certificate of occupancy, then take down this mikveh and go on with the building. If not that, the community would have been left without the mikveh for a certain period of time, and we would have problems. For that, we are truly, truly appreciative. John Cornick is not here, the building commissioner. He was supposed to be here. I can tell you that our builders tell us that whenever they come to City Hall and they need anything, it's waiting for them. They don't have to wait. We've been friends for many years, and I want to thank them through you. Please, Mr. Mayor, communicate to them our true appreciation and best regards. And I'd like to have the Honorable Merle Gordon, Mayor of the City of Beechwood, address us.
Thank you, Rabbi. You can sit down now. I don't want to share the stage with you. Thank you. What an honor to be here today, and what a surprise after 6 years of conversation since I've been in office. I started in January of 1995 with a very controversial issue that this community had to face. And I can honestly tell you, standing here in front of you today, that if Rabbi Alefsky and Mel Waxman were not heading this up and had the vision to go through with what is going to happen after we break some ground today, this probably would not have occurred. There's been many things that have transpired over the 6 years. I can stand here with all honesty and tell you that it is very difficult to say no to Rabbi Olevsky at all. It was not Margaret Cannon's influence to separate these two buildings, but Rabbi Olevsky's diligence to make sure this project moves forward and has the funding in position so that once this project commences, it goes forward and it is complete in time. And I truly believe that this will happen. If any person can change somebody's life, I believe Rabbi Olevsky can do that. He does not accept no. He does things in a cordial, professional way. And because of that, I recognize him not only as a rabbi in our community, but as a friend. Rabbi, if you would please stand up for 1 minute.
Take a picture. And do it fast.
You don't have to do it that fast. We're going to be friends for a long time. But with all sincerity, one of the things that Rabbi Olevsky did tell me was to watch Jonathan Shanes as this project moves forward so that they get the best bang for their dollar. So, Jonathan, our building commissioner will be watching over your shoulders every step of the way. But in all sincerity, I'd like to wish everybody well with this project. This land is not barren today as you look around, but it is the start of a new beginning, an expanded congregation and a presence within the city of Beechwood. Rabbi, from me to you, as a personal friend, throughout the past 6 years of our knowing each other, you never brought any of the situations in front of the city down to a personal level between you and I. You showed the city the respect, and I believe we showed you and your congregation the same. Because of that, it is my honor and privilege to present this Bible to you with a brief inscription, and I know you will keep this and honor this for the rest of your life. And I hope you well in your new home in the city of Beechwood.
I obviously appreciate it very much. I do not want to have it a personality business. This is Chabad and the city of Beechwood, and I do cherish our friendship. It doesn't do any harm at all, and it did smoothen out some corners that we needed to, and I appreciate that. Speaking of cities, this, of course, is Beechwood, but right across the street is University Heights. Mayor Beryl Rothschild of University Heights, if she is here, I wish to recognize her and extend to her our sincere appreciation for the help throughout, including the menorah lightings at May Company and permits and what have you. Always sweet and kind and quick. I would take this opportunity now to tell you that while the mayor can do a lot of things, as you very well know, without the city council, he can't do too much. We're privileged to have the president of city council here, Fred Goodman, and without further ado, he promised no more than 2 minutes, so don't worry about it.
Listen, I'm not a rabbi, I'm not an attorney, so I won't talk long. No problem. You know, the mayor really said it accurately. Between the rabbi and the mayor, they really did work things out. You know, we had to pass what we passed, and certainly I'm privileged to be here, and I thank you for inviting me today very much. This new groundbreaking for the new Mikva and the new Waxman Chabad Center. As president of City Council, I certainly would like to congratulate you and offer my congratulations on getting to this point. And as has been said by yourself and the mayor, the road has not been easy. It wasn't easy on either side, but the way that you conducted yourselves, as the mayor said, has always been appreciated, and we would hope to maintain those kinds of relationships as we go forward. I know the pride and excitement of this particular moment for you is very keen, and I wish you much success. as you start to build this new center that will enable you to come together in prayer and study and other family activities. So I just simply will end this by saying Mazel Tov, and I wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arsham has been a city council and a friend, and it would be my honor to ask him to say a word of greeting. I know I didn't tell you before, you don't have to make long speeches. You can say congratulations and sit down. But I do want you at the mic, and I want to be able, to photographer, to take your picture.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thanks, everybody. As he said, I hadn't expected to say anything, hadn't been asked to say anything, but I do wish you all well on this new endeavor. I'm sure it will bring us all together even closer than we have been in the past. Congratulations and good luck.
We're moving on to the highlight of our program and soon to be concluded. I want to recognize a great friend who has helped us in a manner that to us is the most important. He has helped us see the Rebbe when he was addressing crowds through the satellite by setting up a satellite system here. He is Norman Diamond. I wish to acknowledge him, I wish to recognize him, I wish to thank him, and I wish to wish him many great years for good health and wealth and spiritual contentment. For those who don't know, he's the father of our own Randy Diamond and of course Ricky Diamond. As I introduce what to me is the most important part of this program, though short, but the most important part, I want to tell you that obviously all of this would not have been here without the Lubavitcher Rebbe. This Lubavitcher Rebbe, who has passed away 7 years ago almost, and many people were asking what is going to happen with the Chabad Lubavitch movement after the Rebbe passed away. I can tell you what has happened. It more than doubled in the number of the Rebbe's representatives throughout the world since the Rebbe passed away. Therefore, we are going to read a few lines from the Rebbe's, a letter or an excerpt from his discourse by our own Rabbi Chaikin. Please stand up.
In answer to your question, Oideis Oifon Hanochas Even Hapino. How is it supposed to be done? A groundbreaking. Hine behold, Tziyun Hanochas Hayesod Haskolas Habinyan. To commemorate a groundbreaking, Yesh LeYesod has a source, Bekamo Mekoimes, in several places, B'Toiraseinu, our Torah, which is called Toiras Chaim, instructs our life, gives guidance to our life. Moreover, Ela Shagam, we should do it, Behalil Ubehoides LaHashem, Ki Toiv Ki La'olam Chazdei Al Yisrael. At the time when we get together to celebrate a groundbreaking, we should say praises and thanks to Hashem that His kindness is everlasting on to the Yidden. And the Rebbe quotes the Zohar, Kat shorei lemivnei boi la'atkere bepume. When you build a building, you should commemorate, you should verbalize the ho lepulchone de kuchabricha hubone, that you're building it for the service of Hashem. Uchedein then, sayaito dishmaye shorale, God's help dwells on it. The kuchabrichu zomin aleik de shose bekora alei sholem, and Hashem rests His holiness and He calls it peace. The actually putting in the stone should be done based what our sages say. Ein ha'olam iskayim elo behevel pihem shel tinoike shel besravon. The world exists on the breath of children who go to cheder, because those breaths, ein b'chet, children have no sins. Therefore, it's right, shetase, that it should be done through children. It also says a posuk, Hineni yisad betziyin oven Even boichan pinas yikras musad musad. Hashem says, I have founded a precious cornerstone. Therefore, the first thing to be done, the beginning of a building, should be done a stone which comes from the hands of heaven, from Hashem. Then afterwards, you could add cement, etc. But the beginning should be done what's called by anesinas koyach milmailo, by the help of Hashem. So first we put in the ground a stone, and then this is the beginning of the building, and you add. You may be seated.
Thank you, Rabbi Chaikin. I want to acknowledge the distinguished rabbis of other synagogues from other areas. First and foremost, our own Reish Bezin, Rabbi Grumer from Shemre Shabbos. I want to acknowledge, of course, Rabbi Neustadt from Young Israel and Rabbi Bader from the Menorah Park. What? Sure what? I also want to acknowledge, last but not least, amen, that we are personally and communally very indebted to, for educating our children for many years, Rabbi Dessler. May he have a long life, all of them have long life and good health, and be able to celebrate with all of us the completion of this building. The Jewish Federation has not only helped Chabad with grants in the beginning, as I mentioned, but has been helpful throughout, especially Stephen Hoffman, whom we have known for quite a few years, 30 years, something like that. He's in Washington today, and he asked Mr. Joel Fox to speak on his behalf, and I'm honored to present him. This is the new man. Stephen is already out of retirement.
Not exactly. Thank you, Rabbi. It's my honor to be here today on behalf of the Jewish Community Federation of Cleveland. Mazal Tov and Batzlacha to you on this very important occasion of the groundbreaking for the new mikveh. I assume I'm not the only one among us who came through the last month or so of Parshas, sitting Shabbos morning listening about the building of the Mishkan. The Jewish people, since the very, very beginning, have paid a lot of attention to creating sacred spaces, holy places for us to gather as a community in God's honor. So I'm very pleased to be here on another milestone for Cleveland today, the groundbreaking for this building. And I know that the mikveh and the shul to follow it will be very reflective of the beauty and the grandeur and the honor and the dignity that we read about in the story of the creation of the Mishkan in the Torah. But of course, with my Federation hat, I have a special interest in the fundraising aspect that the Torah talks about. And you'll all remember the story. Betzalel and the gentleman come to see Moshe, and they say, we have enough to do what's prescribed by God for us to do in the building of the Mishkan, and we have an extra share, and they're still coming. And Moshe puts forth a proclamation and says, it's enough, we've done what we need to do. So I wish for you, as we complete the mikveh, Mel, and move forward in the building of the new Chabad Center, that same thing will happen here, that Chabad's Betzalel will come to Chabad's Moshe and say, it's enough, the people have responded, our commitment is deep enough to build a proper and very beautiful new Chabad Center for Cleveland. Mazal Tov, Behatzlacha, on behalf of the Federation, our volunteer leadership, and our professional staff. All the best to you, Mazal Tov.
Thank you very much. Joel? I hope you are as kind and as nice when we filed our proposals. I wish to recognize our great architects, Dominic Durante and Greg House, sitting right there. They're supposed to control the builders, you know what I mean? And the builders, we ask to control them. And between the both of them, we hope that we have a real nice building. This community has an individual that has undertaken a unique project, which I think merits community support. He has made a kollel, and single-handedly almost, I know it was in my house asking for money, supports, I think, 7 young couples who sit and learn and are able to teach other people in the community in the evenings, whoever wants to learn. We are indebted to him because many of our Chabad people take classes there. Otherwise, we would have to pay for those teachers. I want to recognize Rabbi Yankiv Velvel-Katz, if he's here. Yeah, he is here. He's modest. He wouldn't get up. Don't worry about it. But I do wish you luck. You know, this building, I have another mic I can throw it at you so you can, you know, this building is a great building, hopefully going to be an edifice of Torah and Tefillah. But there were some people in our community who were saying, what's the use of a new building if you need new blood and new activities with youth, and you're already getting older, as great, as nice as you are, you know, take a walk. So I said to them, well, put your pocket where your mouth is. And they accepted the challenge. They have put their pocket where their mouth is. They've initiated and brought about the bringing of the new director for the Waxman Chabad Center, who likes to call himself program director. I'll honor his wish. His name is Rabbi Yossi Morozov, and his wife Esti, who happen to be our daughter and son-in-law, of course. I am both personally and communally indebted to these two people, David Kotler and Mort Kaufman, not only for this, but assistance throughout the years. Who did I want to call upon next? Huh? Yossi, that's right. The third item we're missing in our program is tzedakah. We had a prayer and we had a Dvar Torah. Now we need charity. I want to call upon the new program director of the Chabad of the Waxman Chabad Center. Don't forget the name Waxman. If you want him to pay for it, don't you ever forget that name. To address us on the subject of tzedakah and the pushkas that you see the kids are carrying on the right-hand side, which are interestingly and unique. Rabbi Morozov.
Yes, I am proud to say that I did marry my wife Esti. It does come with some baggage, and I did have to acquire a wonderful father-in-law. And mother-in-law, right. The Lubavitcher Rebbe taught us that at every special occasion when we get together, it's important to connect it to an actual mitzvah. In our situation, we wanted to present to everybody a souvenir, a reminder of this event, this wonderful event, and somehow we decided to connect it together with the actual mitzvah of charity. We will be needing some charity for this event. So what we did is we got a replica of the future building that will be built here in the form of a charity box. So we're going to ask one person per family. We can come up and we will distribute these tzedakah pushkas to everybody. And that way we can connect both the beautiful mitzvah of tzedakah and a souvenir for everybody that has participated. Thank you very much.
Don't go there and pick it up, you know? Is Bob Bloom here? Bob Bloom? No Bob Bloom here. I want to recognize him regardless. Anybody who knows him should tell him about it. Bob Bloom made it in a place where we could have made it or break it. There was 5 members in the council, and a suggestion was on the floor to prohibit any future public building on private land. So you cannot take off any private house and build a public building. When the city council wanted to pass it, they needed Bob Bloom's 5th or middle, I guess, vote. He was the majority vote. And Bob Bloom made a very nice speech that was very touching. He says, I'll vote with you if you grandfather these 3 projects, and it doesn't apply to them. And if not, I'm not voting with you, count me out. And there was a lot of people there who were upset, and of course they wanted to stop it. And Bob stood up and he says, so if you don't like me, vote me out. I run in a little while. Run me out of office. We are privileged and we are grateful, and I'd like to acknowledge him. The Chabad house here is an offshoot of the old Chabad house, or a continuation of the old Chabad house there. And that Chabad house was purchased with money. Somebody had to pay the money, you know. Nobody walks, money talks. There was a man called Bill Perez and a Mrs. Bill Perez, who are young olds who have really gone sort of from door to door to bring this about. I want to recognize them, wish them the best of everything and many long, happy years. They happen to be the in-laws of Mel Waxman and the grandparents of Larry and the whole crew of Larry's children are their great-grandchildren, are now running around like chickens in this Chabad house, and we can't chase them out when they speak in the middle of davening. So give me a hand. We truly, truly appreciate it, Bill and Estelle, and we wish you great health and many years of wealth and spiritual contentment. The Chabad house was purchased for $36,000, the old Chabad house. The mortgage was $36,000. The Chabad house was more than $36,000. The mortgage was paid for years from the Stanley, Mel and Armand Waxman Foundation. Stanley Waxman, whom I have had the privilege to know, and also participate in Shabbos afternoon Chumash classes where he would show what he learned when he was young. Is the father of Mel and Armand Waxman. These are the kids that make this Chabad house possible. He was there on the first Chabad house. I think it would be appropriate to ask Armand Waxman to say a few words about his father.
Thank you, Rabbi Levsky.
$200,000.
I'm pleased to be here today and to see us get this tremendous project off the ground shortly, and wish everybody Mazel Tov, Hatzlacha, and Bracha on this tremendous occasion. And I want to wish my brother a special Mazel Tov for being such a devoted, being so devoted to Chabad and being so committed. And without his commitment, this would not be happening. So I want to wish him and the entire family and everybody here much success and nachas, and we should all be very pleased with the outcome. Thank you.
I didn't know you know how to speak unprepared. It's very good. I'm coming to the end of my program, last but not least, following which we're going to have the actual groundbreaking. The groundbreaking, the Rebbe says, should be done by children. And we're going to ask a few families and people here to partake in this groundbreaking. But before that, I want to know whether Sidney Risman is here. Sid Risman, anybody can see him there? But this is certainly a man that has helped Chabad House in very serious situations where many others may not have, and have bailed us out more than once. And I'm very, very grateful and appreciative, and I would have wanted to make a long speech about him if he'd be here personally. So we'll do it when the building is up. You all know that this building carries the name of Waxman. They don't let us forget it. And rightfully so. It's a great privilege to have a name on such an institution, which is the Rebbe's home. If I would have that name, I wouldn't let them forget it either, don't get me wrong. But you know that without them, this would not have been possible. But we go back 2 years. There was an Irving Stone, without whom the whole Chabad house, as I mentioned before, with Rabbi Cohen's help, would not have been possible. I want to invoke his name and his good memory on this occasion, and I want to connect him with the Rebbe, to which I was witness, and tell you a story, which takes 10 seconds, 7 seconds. Don't worry, Mr. Mayor, 10 seconds, that's all. When Irving Stone first launched the Chabad project, he supported the budget. The Waxman Foundation, which I just mentioned, supported the house. Irving Stone came to the Rebbe for a private audience, and he wanted to present to the Rebbe a key to the Chabad house. And we walked in, I was with him there, and they spoke a few words, the Rebbe said a few words, and then Irving Stone said, and I preface it by me telling him before, we don't take pictures in the Rebbe's room. So he says, what if I ask his permission? I say, no, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to tell you what to do. To make a long story short, after a porverter, sagt der Rebbe, can ich nehmen a bild? Can I please take a picture how I present to you the key to the Chabad house? And I, of course, have prepared already a photographer. The one who ran that photography business, his grandson is here with us, one of the guys running around over there. And the photographer was outside, and the Rebbe looked at him and he says, generally this is not done here. But for you, Mr. Stone, I'll make an exception, and you will make Cleveland a pilot project. And the Rebbe stood up, we called in the photographer. Of course, before he was able to click, the Rebbe says to him, did you put on film today? He was a Jewish boy. So he said he will. He was smart enough right away to answer he will. And the Rebbe says, fine. And he stood up, he posed, and we have a nice picture of Irving Stone and the Rebbe standing in his audience room, something which many would give their leg and arm for. And a nice, big, beautiful poster that Irving printed, a blue poster, you might remember, to publicize our thing, very expensive, is right on the table. He presented it to the Rebbe. I therefore wanted to mention this thing. Without him, that Chabad house would not have been, without Irving Stone, this property would not have been purchased. Without Irving Stone, many institutions in Cleveland wouldn't have flourished as they did. May his neshama have a true aliyah, and I'm sure he's smiling from heaven looking at what comes out of the investment that he has done. But that was the beginning. There is a beginning and there is a continuation. The continuation of this Chabad house without Mel Waxman would probably had a hard time. I wouldn't say it wouldn't have been possible. Everything is possible. There's a great God in heaven. But Mel, you all know Mel, I assume, and you, some of you know me also, and some of you have seen me deal with Mel in a more natural way. I can tell you that anytime I needed a pledge from Mel, my kishkes went out. Kishkes, you know what I mean? Kishkes, regardless what it was for. Kishkes went out. But I can also tell you that he has never in his history revoked a pledge. Never. I've had people giving pledges very easy, very nicely, and 2 days later, ladies, my Geschäft. Mel tried always to pay the last minute possible, but he has never rejected a pledge. Mel got himself a partner recently. His name is Gary Waxman, and he 24 hours a day. Gary Waxman, is he there? Hey, Gary, come forward, please. Come closer, come here, come, don't be, we're going to rush you in here. Mel got himself a partner whose name is Gary Waxman. And he talks to me 10 times a day, Gary Waxman, Gary Waxman. So I say, it's because it's a Waxman, right? He says, no, because he's Gary, he says. I'd like to thank Gary for everything. I didn't ask his permission to acknowledge it, so I'm going to stop right here and now. If he gives him permission, I'll continue when the building is up. But I did have to do this. I know he's a very modest and sincere individual, so I'm not going to do it at my own thing, but I'm going to let Mel do it, and after that is groundbreaking. Mr. Waxman, come in. Don't talk about me.
Just sit down. Gary, come on. Thank you, Rabbi Alevsky. I haven't prepared a speech, but I want to, first of all, I want to acknowledge all the people that are here. I think it's wonderful. We have such a nice turnout from the entire community, and I think that the Chabad organization, which is really this Chabad house, which is, as Rabbi Alevsky said, this is an institution of the Rebbe, is a very unique organization, and what are doing today in the groundbreaking is also very unique. First of all, I'd like to tell you that our family has been very fortunate to be closely linked with the Rebbe. Our family is somewhat of a unique family in that we have we've always been tzedakah minded. That goes back to my father and my mother, who set a very good example for our family. I remember my father when we had a small business in the city, and the Meshulachs would come to our business. He would always give at least $1 or something to every rabbi who ever came to our business. And I was a young kid. I was working in the business, and it was always amazing to me because I know some days we didn't take any money in. And yet my father would always give tzedakah. He would always give something. And that example of his tzedakah stuck with me and my brother as almost a permanent, indelible mark in our family, in the psyche of our family. And as I came into the business, my brother came into the business. We were fortunate to build up the business. Very early on, we believed in supporting the community. The early years, I was very active in the Federation. There was no Chabad in the early years. Chabad came to Cleveland in 1972. And our family and Irving pretty much underwrote the Chabad, the cost of bringing Chabad to Cleveland. And when I first met the Rebbe, I know a lot of you have not really experienced the kind of unique power that the Rebbe had. The Rebbe is an extremely unusual individual in that his Hasidim have an undivided loyalty to him. It is unusual in the Jewish world, probably anywheres, for people to be so committed to an individual. And of course the Rebbe was from a long line, 7 generations of Chabad rabbis, starting with the Alter Rebbe, that this unique commitment, this unquestioning commitment, was the basis for this Rebbe to take it to another level. You know, basically, this Rebbe decided to spread Yiddishkeit all over the world. You have thousands of Chabad houses all over the world. The reason is because the Rebbe, who is committed to this whole concept of Mashiach, decided he's got to spread his Hasidim all over the world. So this unique organization is basically committed to helping people. Our family is also committed to helping people. This is our basic philosophy. And I'm very proud that our family has an opportunity to do something that will be remembered for generations. And my grandchildren and my children, who are really great. My son Larry, who's sitting here, he's the oldest, my oldest son, and I'm extremely proud of him and what he's accomplished. And my brother, of course, is sitting to the right, and I'm also very proud of him and what we've accomplished together. It's been a struggle, but I got to tell you, without the Rebbe's bracha, which we got a number of years ago when we were fighting big battles to keep our company going, that bracha was a tremendous psychological and I think actual help to us. So we feel a real commitment to take Chabad to the next level. And I believe that in this community of Beechwood, which is really an exceptional community, and I got to tell you, the mayor sitting here, I'm very impressed with the mayor and his entire community, the city council, all the people involved. This is not an average city over here, Beechwood. It is really run probably one of the best organizations I've ever seen run. I mean, it's really, they're on top of their business big time. And I think that they've tried to help us pretty much every way they can. And we appreciate it. And we're undertaking this project. We have some key supporters. And I want to tell you that Gary Waxman, who's sitting here, I don't want to say too much because he doesn't like too much. Gary's my close friend, and the name Waxman on this building is not just for our family, but for his family as well. So I want you to know, and also Gary, I can tell you because Gary's not going to talk. Gary, a few years ago, as is the case in any business, had some real problems in his business. And I remember one day we were talking, and I said to Gary, what are you going to do? He says, I don't know. I said, do you have a bracha from the Rebbe? He says, yeah. I said, then you're in good shape. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Because that bracha will carry you through the problems. And there's no question that he came out of his problems just like we came out of our problems. And we're here together, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you we're going to be building a beautiful center here, a mikveh, a new Chabad center, the outreach programs that Rabbi Marzov has brought here to work on. The rabbis that we have here, I've got to tell you, Rabbi Mendelson, who's sitting to my left here, is an unbelievable guy. Rabbi Chaikin, our Rav. We have a really great organization here. And the networking here also, I see Rabbi Sasankin from Akron is here. Rabbi Greenberg is here from Solon. So I think that the Chabad network is getting going here in Cleveland. So we want to tell you thank you for coming to the groundbreaking. There's some refreshments. Looking forward to the groundbreaking itself, and thank you for coming. We hope you will have a good time today.
How much do I get, Mel? I didn't talk about you, Gary. Mel did, because I like you, and I'm not a Mel who is going to talk about you without asking you. He did that about me a few times, and no matter how many times I warned him, it didn't help, nothing. But I do want to thank Gary, also short, very short, with no elaboration, for helping various projects of ours throughout the time, and perhaps the crowd of his achievement, helping build the new building at Chabad House in Solon. As you know, Chabad has been in Cleveland here almost 30 years. Next, we went to Columbus. We got a house on campus, and we made the Chabad House there. Next, the Chabad House was opened in Toledo, in Cincinnati, then Toledo, then Dayton, then Blue Ash. Before that, Akron, Ohio was opened, and Youngstown, Ohio was opened, and last but not least, it was Solon, Ohio. If these would not be my own kids, I would be jealous of their accomplishments. I need not praise them publicly. Many of you know, because you come to us and tell us that everybody is going to Solon. The whole city is talking about Solon. But our rabbis say that one can be jealous of anything except for his own children. So we're not jealous. Keep it up. I want to recognize Rabbi Greenberg, and the reason I recognize Rabbi Greenberg is because without Gary Waxman, he could not have what he wants to have now. So I thank both of you. But last but not least, we've got the Chabad House in Akron, whose name is Rabbi Sasonkin right there. I want to recognize him too. He's also a son-in-law of ours, very respectful. I wish you long, many hatzloches. Rabbi Sasonkin has in recent years become the chief rabbi, Orthodox rabbi of Ekron. Congratulations. We wish you mazel. If anybody of you pass by Ekron, you'll see the hundreds of people who come to their programs. And with that, we will conclude with the most important introduction to the actual groundbreaking. The Rebbe says that the ground should be broken by kids. So I want you to take your kids and grandchildren under bar mitzvah.
Under bar mitzvah?
Under bar mitzvah, and wait. Mel, relax. Hold your horses 1 minute. Think of whom you want to invite. It's your call, it's your project. Now you take it. Whoever you want, yours or somebody else, get the kids around and they will break it. Before that, I want to invite our very own Rabbi Mendelssohn to tell you about the Rebbe's message about Mashiach. You know very well the Rebbe stormed the world up saying Mashiach is near to come, encouraging us all to prepare. I want Rabbi Mendelssohn to say a few words about it, and right after that I want to move to the groundbreaking with whoever you choose. I'm finished. Goodbye.
The Rebbe instructed to make Chabad houses, a place of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, a place where Torah, the study of Torah, and prayer, and tzedakah would take place, charity would take place. And the Rebbe said it should be open to invite and to provide, to facilitate, and to inspire each and every Jew, whoever they may be, to increase them and inspire them in the Jewish awareness and identity and the observance of God Almighty's holy commandments. The Rebbe said that we're living at a time when all the signs of our holy Torah that mark the coming of Mashiach is here and now, and that the world is ready for Mashiach to come and usher in a world of universal good and peace, and that we just have to do our share to prepare ourselves and the world to greet and welcome Mashiach and usher in this universal era of goodness. The building of a Chabad house, a new Chabad house, to facilitate that, to enable that to be done on a greater scale, is part of our share in making that happen. May we merit that the building of this Chabad house, the Mikva, we should merit quickly and speedily to welcome Mashiach, when this Chabad house and all the Chabad houses and all the synagogues will attach themselves to the Beis HaMikdash, to the temple in Jerusalem, speedily in our days.
Okay, speeches are over. Enough with the speech.
Move back, okay?
Your video camera. Okay. Shava, can I do one? Yeah, get in there. Okay. Can I do one? No, it's only the Waxman family. Okay? Just stay right there.
Okay. Albert, hold my hand. Just obey. Oh, do you want a hat? Just obey. You want a hat?
It's one more.
Look up at the kids. You want a hat? Here, put the hat on.
There's a shovel there.
Albert, turn around and face this. Albert. Turn around. Albert. Okay, take the picture.
Albert, come here.
Very good. Okay, look out.
Gabi. Cheese.
Can we have him look over here?
Put the hat on.
The camera doesn't see me.
Want a hat?
Put the hat on.
Over here.
Okay, just one more. Okay, good.
What's the hat?
Great, excellent. Come forward, take Dan, Jonathan, what's happening?
Good to see you.
A little more. Okay. Cover the white stuff. That's fine. Yeah.
Everybody right over here. We're going to take two of them.
Out of the way, boys.
Okay, just hold it right there. That's one. Everybody look right here at the camera. We're going to take one more. That looks great. Super.
Okay. Benji, how are we doing here? I can't hold him.
Okay.
He's right there.
Rabbi Levsky, you want to come with a picture? Okay, very good.
Take a little dirt up now.
What? Okay, you did it.
There you go, Rabbi.
Wait.
What about?
Mordecai, come over here. Come on in.
I can't dig. I would be happy to dig.
Can I dig Daddy for you?
No, you have to
No, just stay right where you are, sweetheart.
Can you get the kids back on the...
And move. You have to move out of the way. We can't take pictures. Move out of the way.
Oh, be careful, don't.
Where is he?
Albert, you have a shovel?
Okay. Take the stone. Come here. Pick up the stone. Yeah. Pick up the stone.
Sure.
Congratulations. Your daughter was
Thank you.
You want them? Well, we have to. We're actually. Yeah. Clementine and Sybil. How are you? Hi. Nice to see you. Nice to see you too. Getting going here. We're ready. Okay, good. And you've been on the people who can't agree? That was 16.
Jonathan got some free advertising here.
Tell you what. You put that up on the shelf in your office?
You put the who?
You keep that hand.
Where is Yeshua?
I don't know.
To bring Gabi. Oh, Yeshua.
There you go.
Pick up the big stone.
Together, man. Get a picture of my two grandsons.
This one was done. Pick up this stone.
Wait a minute, you're in this together. The two of you together.
Yeshua, put this hat.
Put the hat on. Right over here. Right over here. That looks super, guys. Hold it there. Good. One more. Okay.
We're paying rent on it, but we're not using it. Yeah, that's fine.
Daddy, a minute ago.
German.
Okay. Oh, there's Robert.
Yeah.
Did you take?
Hi, Robert. How are you?
Did you take the video with the guys on the picture? Yeah, but you want you on the video with the. Excuse me. Move out of the way. Okay, good.
Right over here. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Okay. That's good. Just one more? One more?
Mazel tov.
Good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very good, thanks.
Very nice. Okay,
I don't Mickey, she got really appreciates, but all I do is my job as a pastor. Ask her one more thing.
Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.
People don't know how much you did.
This one grew up. What happened?
Did the shovel thing?
I want him to say that. Say that.
Let's go, fellas.
Hey, push it out of the way. Move out of the way, this picture.
That's good.
Thank you.
Super, guys. Hold it right there. When we get the shovel, that's great. Just one more. Hold it right there. Okay.
Very good. My father's handicapped.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Very good.
Good to see you. We're showing a picture ourselves. Come on, guys. Us ladies.
That's super. Hold it there, lady. Good. Just one more. Hold it right there.
All right. Yeah, let's get her. Get in.
Get in, get the shovel. Somebody needs to get the shovel.
It's not going to make headlines. Biggie, want to get it? It's the only hat I'll ever be able to wear with permission. You want a hat too? You want a hat? Wait one second, get another hat.
I don't think we have any more
Is there
hats.
another hat? Go find me, quick. Yes, please.
I think you took the hats with you.
There's somebody here. No. They're in a big box. Take them boxes in here. Great job, Gail. Have you ever been in any pictures? Yeah. Okay. Okay. By the way, honey, take a picture. Okay. We're taking a picture. Okay, this is really serious. Here, put you up together with me. Shane will help us. Okay.
Come on, ladies. That looks good. Just one more. Just hold it right there.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now you can walk around and take pictures of the people. Okay. Hello, Mazel tov on the groundbreaking. Chabad will remember this.
All right.
Thank you.
We're moving along. Hopefully things will go as smoothly as today. For the entire year.
Oh, is this video or is it? Okay, but is it sound also?
It's sound, yeah.
Oh, watch it on CNN.
Is it color TV?
I'll see it on CNN tonight.
Well, I have so many things. Then he books me a flight.
Brian told me he was a
Larry, you should see the speakers.